I guess, first of all, this is a very delicate situation because all these uncertainties regarding the tariff discussions will have some spillovers to monetary policy. And what does that mean for us is that we have to take into account this uncertain situation. Taking that aside, monetary policy in the euro system is on a good path. We are more or less back to our target. So I would say, well, we are in neutral territory. Is this tariff discussion a game changer? Maybe, but I guess we have to take into account all the possibilities, all the options, but this is a very problematic situation.
That's a good point about the maybe here, because the market's talking about whether we see a Trump taco trade, whether he turns his mind around with Greenland and some of the tariff tensions. But if we just go back to what we have, the basics that have been said so far, 10% tariff in a matter of weeks that escalates to 25% by June. So we're talking about really the first half of this year. I remember last year when the ECB was looking at the impact of tariffs, they were talking about a 1% hit to growth over the projected horizon if there was some sort of retaliatory tariffs coming through. So could we be talking about that sort of growth hit again if we do get the tariffs, 1% hit?
Well, what we already know is that the current tariff situation has some negative impact on economic growth. It's roughly around minus 0.1 coming from the tariffs. If there's now something coming on top, there will be a negative impact for sure. So I still have the hope that we can find, let me say, a solution, a joint understanding that these tariff discussions, maybe putting tariffs on top, is definitely not helpful. And the US administration should understand that at the end, I guess the highest price has to be paid by the consumer in the United States.
When it comes to some of the uncertainty that we're talking about, is it just growth or is it also price stability, inflation?
Well, regarding price stability, the whole picture is pretty opaque. So it's more on the economic growth side than on inflation. So I'm more concerned when it comes to economic growth.
We know from the experiment of 2025, it didn't really matter whether the tariffs stuck in the end. It was the uncertainty. It was the lingering negativity that also impacted business confidence. So is that a factor now?
I guess we had it yesterday that financial markets reacted. And we should take that as a lesson learned. What does that mean if uncertainty might remain over the next couple of weeks and days? So I would say we should really be cautious what's going on here. And I really hope that the US president today in his speech, I hope will change his mind and coming to a different position.
A Davos solution of sorts.
I hope so.
I wanted to ask you about the consequences for the euro, because last year I know some of the governing council members at the ECB were concerned about the trade that was the Sell America trade. So the questions that were lingering around the reserve status of the US dollar meant a one-off adjustment in the euro. If that happens again, like what we've seen in markets in the last 24 hours or so, what would that mean?
I guess last year, this April episode, this was a very painful episode. I think we should also take it as a lesson learned, and we know how problematic things could evolve when something like this could happen again. So as I said, we should be very cautious. This is a tricky something. I think we have a setup of different uncertainties. Is it trade, geopolitical, with so many things are in a parallel mode, they are going on and they have their spillovers to financial markets. So this is really something we as central banks, we have to look at it and we have to decide on what's going on here. But I really hope that the whole situation is coming down over the next couple of days.
In the meantime, Europe has been working on massive fiscal packages that have been unleashed, and that is from the European level to Germany. Will any of this come through and benefit the European economy in 2026?
Well, first of all, this is good news. We are doing a lot in Europe to really give push to our economies. Germany is doing a lot. We have a large fiscal package this year. We will see this positive impact that is coming from this fiscal package. This year, our growth forecast is roughly around 0.6%. Next year, we will see more. And that makes it so complicated that we have this positive news on this side, but on the other side, we have all these uncertainties that have maybe negative impact in the opposite direction.
We've seen some targeted measures from Friedrich Merz, the German Chancellor, when it comes to trying to improve competitiveness in the German economy. For instance, artificially lowering the electricity price to help out industry. Are we seeing enough measures to support German industry?
I believe there's a joint understanding, not just in Germany, and I guess the German government, they're doing this right. And it's also about the European spirit, and I heard a lot of good news yesterday about our understanding how to, let me say, push things in Europe in a joint understanding. Cooperation is key. And this is also what I expect from the transatlantic cooperation, that I hope we are coming back to that joint understanding that cooperation is what we really need in a situation where there are so many uncertainties.
Some of the Governing Council members were talking about that German fiscal package, saying it was a package for Germany, that the effects will not be felt beyond Germany. What do you think?
I guess this is not right. I guess we know from the past that there will be spillovers to all over Europe, to our neighbor countries, and they will also feel that positive stimulus that is coming from the German economy.